Hey RV family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morse, the review guy reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the New Testament record entitled Titans of Creation. 13th studio-length album by the Thrashers themselves, Testament. Amongst the pantheon of 80s thrash metal and classic thrash metal in general, if the Mount Rushmore was supposed to be expanded upon suddenly, I can think of many bands that could be in contention to be added, and Testament would be very, very high up, if not at the top of that list. Because for one thing, I don't think these guys have ever really dropped a full-on dud in their entire career. Here's the thing though, many of the consistent thrash metal bands that are still around from the 80s can achieve that pretty easily just simply because of the sound and the fact that it has a blueprint at this point. One that can be followed and repeated in a way that provides the substance for a full album and gives fans what they expect and makes it fruitful and throttling to listen to without ever having to reinvent the wheel in a way that kind of alienates their fans. And at this point in their career, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm feeling good about Testament. Chuck Billy basically said that this record shouldn't have taken as long as it did, that he doesn't like that it took as long as he did, that it should have come out like I think he said 2 years ago. And in the future, he just wants to, whenever they're not on the road, to just jam out, make some riffs, have some fun. And I think that's a really important thing to note for the future of Testament as a whole. At this point, they're not trying to push boundaries, and stepping into a Testament record expecting massive changes to their sound is not going to reward you with much, if anything, at this point. You come into this clown house with a sonic beating, an onslaught of rage-driven riffs and arena-sized drum work. They're having fun. They're just having fun at this point, and you can tell. With that being said, I wouldn't come close to saying that this is their strongest record. It is hit or miss, but I do think there are more hits than misses, luckily. I mean, I was quite worried when I heard the opener, Children of the Next Level. It dragged on so much. It felt sloppy. I thought the chorus was one of the weakest, and I still do think it is by far my least favorite track on the entire record, and not a very good opener. Luckily, World War III picks it up and carries it with a powerful messaging and an absolutely ruthless sound. Chuck Billy is a fantastic vocalist. He really has improved over the years, and he still feels like he's in his prime, even though the dude's almost about to hit 60 years old. He still roars out with so much passion and conviction. You can tell that he's really taking care of his vocal cords and did the right techniques to make sure that he could preserve his vocals, because it's obviously a very taxing, a very demanding vocal style that he does. Hey guys, something that I meant to mention in this video that I forgot when talking about Chuck Billy is the fact that he has tested positive for the you-know-what. It's a dirty word to YouTube, they don't like it. And I wish him a really healthy recovery, and I hope him and his family stay safe. But I was genuinely surprised with how dynamic a lot of the vocals on this record could hit. Fans of extreme metal variations should take note of Night of the Witch. It starts off pretty average, pretty typical, you know, standard thrash metal anthem. A lot of bob your head along riffs, very headbang worthy, so on and so forth. But as you continue, you get hit with these very high-pitched, almost inhale-sounding shrieks, literally inhale-sounding screams, that lead into this groovy breakdown of instrumentation in this absolutely ferocious, deep, guttural death growl that sounds absolutely fucking killer. And on tracks like City of Angels, even though I do think that it also suffers from the dragging on a bit issue that some of the longer tracks on this record can suffer from, I really do have to applaud the vocal mixing, the experimentation in the vocal mixing, especially near the 4-minute mark. Not to mention the progression of this track leaves me pretty stoked, because the transitions, they happen in a flash. Even with the solo feeling a little bit shoe-inned, which is another issue that this record can occasionally have, and generally this track not feeling like it's justifying its length entirely, the same issue the first track had, it's enough to keep me pretty intrigued, and manages to keep my ears into it no matter what. I'm basically in the palm of this band, and that's just straight experience, nothing more. That's experience. That's knowing you can do what you're gonna do well. And this record has some very sloppy, and I mean sloppy in a good way, bass introductions that allow the bass to take the forefront in a very gritty way, such as on the track City of Angels and Ishtar's Gate. And even on Ishtar's Gate, after that little bit of a preface, the bass stays pretty comprehensible, which I respect a lot. And I feel like all in all, this is just a good thrash metal record, no more, no less. It's a group of legends doing what they do best, cranking out a thrash metal anthem. One after another, they just have these focused bangers. They're not doing anything that is groundbreaking or anything like that, and I wouldn't even say it's my favorite thrash metal record of the year. But there's something that has to be said about a band consistently hitting the mark and not really missing. Not necessarily landing a bullseye nowadays, but landing close enough to where you're like, yeah, I can respect that. I really like it. Otherwise, you know who Testament is at this point. I don't need to necessarily do some big introduction for, well, if you like this song and if you like this song, then I highly suggest you should check out this very underground band, Testament, that no one has ever heard of. You've heard of Testament. But otherwise, I'm going to be giving this record a 7 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Testament record, Titans of Creation? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.